Jeremy Corbyn has been accused by Tory High Command of doing a shady backroom deal with Nicola Sturgeon to facilitate a second independence referendum should Labour gain power. However, the claim, which will form a central plank of the Conservative election campaign north and south of the border, was swiftly denied by the Labour leader's office as fantasy and fake news. The Labour leader insisted there would be no pact with the SNP leader and he was not in favour of indyref2 anytime soon, but added, obviously under the terms of devolution, if the Scottish Parliament demands it, then there could be, at a much later stage, a referendum. The clash came as this morning Mr Corbyn launches Labour's election campaign in London with the message that a vote for his party will be a vote against a corrupt system of tax dodgers, bad bosses, big polluters and billionaire-owned media holding Britain back. This election, the Labour leader will say, is a once-in-a-generation chance to transform our country, take on the vested interests holding people back and ensure that no community is left behind. He will promise real change is coming, declaring, when Labour wins, the nurse wins, the pensioner wins, the student wins, the office worker wins, the engineer wins. We all win. Boris Johnson will also take to the campaign trail in southern England, on the day that Britain should have left the EU under his do-or-die pledge. Ahead of a trio of visits, the Prime Minister promised a new Conservative government would give the public hope and improve opportunity. Declaring how he wanted 2020 to be a great year for our country with billions of pounds more investment in Britain's public services, Mr Johnson warned, the alternative is for the people of this country to spend the next year, which should be a glorious year, going through the toxic, tedious torpor of 2 more referendums on EU membership and Scottish independence thanks to Jeremy Corbyn's incessant indecision. Earlier at the last PMQs of the parliamentary session, the Tory leader locked horns with his SNP counterpart over Scottish independence, which the PM dismissed as a crackpot idea. Noting how an economic think tank had calculated Brexit would deliver a £70 billion annual hit to the economy, Mr Blackford claimed Mr Johnson was willing to throw Scotland under his big red bus to deliver his Brexit no matter what the cost. But the PM argued the greatest damage to Scotland would come from the SNP's reckless plan to break up the union, noting how 60% of Scottish exports went to the rest of the UK. Highlighting the largest ever Treasury block grant to Edinburgh and the benefits of the most successful political partnership in history, Mr Johnson decried how the SNP would throw all that away with their crackpot plan for border. For more on this story, visit the news article link.